Warning. The following video presentation contains scenes of extreme deliciousness. Failure to either eat first or bring a snack to consume during the presentation could result in wanting to lick the screen or in some way act the fool. Ain't nobody want that. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
Hey folks, how's it going? Hope everyone had a good 4th of July for those in the US, and for those that decided to celebrate it, and for those that decided to boycott it, well, that is a very American thing to do, so hats off to you folks. So, very exciting, quite literally, with maybe 20 seconds on the countdown left, Vera starts freaking out at the door, which is usually an indication that somebody has come to the door. In this case, it was Mr. Mailman. And Mr. Mailman done brought a box. And the box that Mr. Mailman done brought was from my brother Squire Creamsicle. So, I don't know if Squire's around, but I did cut off the... Ooh, I need to turn that timer off real quick. And we'll get to that in just a second. But Squire Creamsicle done... he sent me a little present. And I cut off the upper flaps of the box that had all the incriminating information on it. Hey, Lumpy Pickle. I'll show you what's in the box, Lumpy. This is pretty amazing. I knew this was coming. I'm very excited, and I'm even more excited for it to become like a permanent sort of thing. I just need to figure out how to properly display it. Y'all ready for this? The dumpster fire nightlight. How great is that? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Squire Creamsicle, buddy, it literally showed up with like 20 seconds on the clock. Hey Scott, how's it going? So, I am yea verily looking forward to having this in here. Oh man, this is amazing. Okay, hang on. Let me swap up the camera positions so y'all can see it. Oh wow, this is way bigger than I thought it was. Oh wait, I could even hang on. Banana for scale. That is absolutely amazing. And it's a night light. Oh, it's battery powered. Is there batteries in it? I don't think so. But Yeah, that is amazing. Okay, I need to grab a small screwdriver. Okay, it looks like it takes 3 AAAs. Okay. All right. Very good, very good. All right. I have a tiny screwdriver on my desk. One moment, and I will be right back. Let me run the quick intro real quick, and I'll be right back with the screwdriver, and we'll see if we can't get this sucker working, okay?
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
Okay. Is that too small? I thought this sucker would be the perfect size. I have another screwdriver. I will be right back. There we go. Oh. For anyone that's been wondering, let me turn that off. In here, in my temperature-controlled tub of water that's currently running at 131 degrees Fahrenheit, there is a vacuum-sealed tri-tip that I prepared earlier today, and it has been luxuriating in there for a little while. And I started it early today because I believe Mrs. Waso has a meeting or something or other that she has to go to. And so I wanted to make sure that dinner was ready in a timely fashion for her. Thus the reason why it's going now as opposed to starting a little bit later. And then the timer that went off, we will get to that in just a moment because that could be something very, very good. All right. Excellent. All right. Let's turn off that light. Those batteries might be dead. I think those batteries might be dead. So anticlimactic. But it is stupidly cute, isn't it, Carrie Gemini? My day's going pretty well. How's your day going? But yeah, this is a nightlight that my brother sent me that takes 3 AAAs that apparently the pack of AAAs that I got are dead. Although to be fair, they did belong to my my mother-in-law, who has since ceased to be She has gone to meet her maker. She has kicked the bucket. She has bought the farm. She's pushing up daisies. She is an ex-person. So, I have no idea how old that pack of battery was. That pack of batteries were. But I know for a fact the batteries are in correctly. So I didn't follow the diagram. So, okay. Mental note. If anybody that is on here that happens to have Mrs. Hueso's cell phone number, feel free to text her for me and tell her. Actually, you know what? No, never mind. Because if she's got her thing, I can worry about it later. I do have some rechargeables out in the front room. I really want to get this working. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go see if those rechargeables have a charge in them. Join the choir invisible. She's just pining for the fjords. That's very true. Hey, Zodic, how's it going, man? The dumpster fire is actually a dumpster fire. I know. Isn't this appropriate? And it's amazing. Squire Creamskull, genuinely, truly, deeply, from the bottom of my heart, thank you kindly. This is going to become a permanent fixture in the kitchen here. I just need to figure out an appropriate place of honor to put it. But I'm going to go grab those batteries, and let's see if we can get that working. Now, with my luck, these batteries are also dead. Suppose I should try turn. Okay, wait. There we go. Hang on. I do believe those are also dead. Because I am not. Okay. So yes, anybody who happens to have Mrs. Hueso's actual cell phone number, I know there's at least 2, I think 3 people in chat that do. Feel free to text her and be like, hey, would you be so kind as to pick up a pack of AAAs on the way home? That would be awesome. I would text her myself, but my phone is currently giving you this view. So, okay. Let's put this put it in part way so then that way I don't lose it, but there we go. So I randomly ordered Brussels sprouts with my lunch yesterday for maybe like the second time in my life, and the first thing I thought was I need a tactical snacking recipe for these. You are in luck, sir, because we are going to be maple and balsamic glazing these roasted Brussels sprouts. It's going to be a little bit later, but we are definitely going to do it. So, okay, thanks, Lumpy. I appreciate it. Let's see, where would be a good spot? Let's look at the camera. Let's look at the view. Let's figure out. I'm thinking place of honor. Yeah. I like it. Place of honor. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Okay, so we should probably get to what that timer was. For those that were around last week, I think it was Thursday? Yeah, that sounds about right. I made... Dude, yeah, I saw the description in the Discord and I knew it was... Oh, right on, dude. Let me go to... There we go. So it was totally... Okay. last Thursday, we had some folks over, and I made these potatoes. Specifically, they're known as Hasselbeck style potatoes, where they're slit and then roasted, and they're supposed to like accordion and all this other stuff. And they were good. Mrs. Weisel loved them. She lamented the fact that she'll probably never have them the same again, which is true. But I personally felt there were a couple of major defects in the way that those particular potatoes were executed. And this, bear in mind, I had never made them before, and I followed what seemed like standard operating procedure when it came to making them. Okay, so slice them using kind of the dual chopstick method, and we had fun watching me fumble through that. The other thing that I wasn't a fan of was the fact that because of the end curvature of the potatoes, that the ends tended to be thicker than the individual slices, which was kind of a pain. And I would have liked it, nice even slices all the way through. The other thing is that they didn't quite open up as much as I would have liked them to, and the seasoning didn't really make it all the way through. So, in thinking about how would I kind of correct these deficiencies, in my opinion, I came up with a plan. And that plan was to get the potatoes, and instead of trying to use two chopsticks, actually hold the potato up on its side and then cut downwards basically through the side. Then that way I can ensure that the end pieces would be the same thickness as everything else. The other thing I did was I got a pot of heavily salted water going, brought it to a boil, and then turned it off the heat, and let the potatoes sit in there for about 15 minutes to kind of soak up that briny solution. Then I decided that, based off of my past experience with slow roasting potatoes like this, I would do them for at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for about 2 hours, and then take off the cover. But the potatoes would be totally sealed up like this, so then that way they'd get kind of this creamy, really creamy texture to them. Then blast them under heat, so then that way they would crisp up at the very end. So I would get the creamy texture, I'd get the seasoning, I get the even, ends and everything else, and that yummy, delicious kind of crispy texture. So a couple of hours ago, these went into a 300 degree oven. And I drizzled them with some of the leftover shallot / scallion oil that I made on Saturday for the vermicelli noodle salad. So there's some of that in there, but we've got some very nicely cooked potatoes. So far so good. Oh, I did sprinkle them with a bit of butt glitter. So these are effectively cooked, and you could consume them right now. I do, however, want to crisp them up. So my oven is ripping hot at 450 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment. So I'm going to go pop these in for about a half hour, and then we'll check them. And then if we need to leave them in for another half hour to finish crisping up, then I'm okay with that. So then that way we get that, creamy, crunchy thing going on. And then towards the end of that time is when we'll put the Brussels sprouts in, because the Brussels sprouts are only going to need about 20-25 minutes at that temp, and then we'll finish them off before eating. And in that time frame, the tri-tip will be ready to go. I have a timer going on for it. And then when it's done, we'll take it out, dry it off, and kind of let it rest for a few minutes. And then I'm going to end up taking it outside with the weed burner and finishing it off that way. And then in the meantime, while everything else is going on, I'm thinking we'll knock out a cabbage salad too. Not a coleslaw, but an actual cabbage salad. So that is the current plan of action. So I'm gonna go pop these into that ripping hot oven. This is just a hotel pan that I lined with foil and then parchment paper, so then that way the potatoes wouldn't actually stick to the foil, and the foil, so then that way cleanup would be way easier, so I wouldn't have to scrub it, because scrubbing pans sucks. Alright, that is in. Alright, so we got a 30-minute timer on that. There's about 15 minutes on the timer for the tri-tip, but I'm not worried about that. Since it's chilling at 131 degrees Fahrenheit, it's not getting any hotter, the meat's not getting any hotter, and it's been in there for that amount of time, so it's gonna be that same temp all the way through. If it's in there another hour or two, it's totally fine. There's no need for any kind of concern in terms of, you know, overcooking it or pushing out any additional juices. It's just chilling at that temp and everything is golden. So, all right, let's get that out of the way. All right. Hail hydrate. Hey, Judo Chop Viking, what's going on, man? Long time no see. How you doing? Is there a concern that the parchment paper would smoke or burn at 450? That is a great question. Especially if anybody's had any kind of high school literature class with Fahrenheit 451. In this particular circumstance, no. With parchment paper, it's actually been kind of treated. It will brown a little bit, but because of the moisture that's in there, it'll be fine. Having baked stuff on parchment paper at that temperature, it's all good. It's heat resistant, but only up to a point. The point's usually around 420. After that, it might begin smoking. You know what? When I was at Whole Foods and we would make Parmesan crisps, we would lay down sheets of parchment paper on large sheet trays and bake them it was about, I thought it was around 450 if I remember correctly, for about 20 minutes or so. And I don't remember there ever being an issue with smoke or potential ignition. Now, I could be wrong, and there may be billowing smoke in about 5-10 minutes or so, but we'll keep an eye on things. If I start smelling something, you better believe I'll pull it. And I got a fire extinguisher right next to the stove, so in the event that there is something major, we can easily extinguish it, but it shouldn't be a problem. At least it's never been in my experience. Yeah, a lot of times what you find too is that you'll see things listed. Slowly being deferred. Hey, Scott Connor, how you doing, man? A lot of times what you'll see is that they will list safety, like numbers for, oh, it's safe to this point, and it's actually below what the actual threshold is, and they do that purely to give themselves that wiggle room. I mean, it's a common practice. You see it everywhere. So I'm not, paper smoked potatoes. Not that new, actually. I've kind of done stuff like that before. But this was a long time ago. This was back in my culinary school days, we would actually take a walk and put like dried tea leaves in the bottom and get it over a ripping hot burner to cause it to smoke, and we would do a quick smoke on like quail and stuff like that. But we also had a really great hood system, which I do not have. So I will not be doing that in the house. Judo Chop Viking is doing okay. It's just getting home from work. How have I been? I've been doing all right. I ended up doing like multiple like late night streams which was fun and funny at the same time. I almost streamed last night. I ended up doing a thing. I made chocolate stout cupcakes with chocolate buttercream frosting. I used an almost 10-year-old can of Oscar Blues 1050 Imperial Stout, and they came out very, very bueno. Oh, yeah, funny thing, Lumpy, the moment it popped up on screen, I said to Mrs. Weiss, so, hey, that's Conan's sword. Like, it was before it even got picked up, and when it was just laying on the ground. I thought that was really funny. So, yeah, that was a great little shout out. I thought that was fun. All right, let's get the Brussels sprouts prepped. Okay. Actually, got my Brussels sprouts sitting out. I got them out a little bit earlier just to make sure that everything was a-okay with them. So these are some big old fatty sprouts, but we're going to give them a wash, trim them up, and get them ready to go. And then we'll get them on the we'll get them on a sheet tray. Both Simran and Simran. Yes, this is very true. Yeah. May or may not have screamed myself. I know, right? It was like, oh, dude. Yeah, this whole last season of Stranger Things has been really good. It is kind of funny that the last two episodes, the first one was an hour and a half, and the second one's like 2.5 hours. I just thought it was interesting that they decided to make that decision as opposed to making it multiple episodes. Got the grill foil. And this is what the current box looks like. It is orange instead of the old red logo like it was. Because I got it and I don't want it to go bad, we're going to toss the Brussels sprouts in some of that shallot and scallion oil. Let's yeah, if you've never worked with Brussels sprouts, it's pretty common. Especially with sprouts this size, because this is like golf ball size for reference. Which, now that I think about it, don't ask me why I have a golf ball in my kitchen, but this is a driving range ball, and that's just slightly bigger. Mrs. Weiss says there are tons of AAA batteries in the old desk dining room top left. Please tell her those were the batteries that I tried that are dead. I know which battery she's talking about. Those are the ones I went to, but yeah, no, they'd be dead. But yeah, if you're working with sprouts that are like that size, cutting them in half is definitely a good idea. However, if they're, smaller, then leaving them whole is just fine. But for this kind of recipe where we're roasting them hot and fast, basically, having the bigger ones is preferred. So then that way, because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be putting all these sprouts cut side down on the foil. So then that way, that whole side gets caramelized. Because color is flavor, but black is burned. Well, you have a golf ball in case you ever need to set a 4-minute timer. This is true. The Punisher in rare form today. Actually, it's not really rare form, it's common form, which is fantastic. Okay. Okay. So, a couple of spoons of this oil, which is grapeseed oil that's been infused. Well, we fried some shallots in it, and then we infused the green tops of some scallions in it. And I've actually been using it quite a bit since I made it on Saturday, and it smells and tastes fantastic. So, and this is just that magic yummy salt that I made. Just a bit. Okay. Okay, those are all set and ready to go. So I'm gonna go pop these over onto the stove, not in the oven. So then that way, when we're ready to go, we can pop these in and we're golden. I am gonna hang on to this bowl because we're going to toss them in the glaze at the very end. We'll just put them in here because, we had clean Brussels sprouts in there, so there's no reason why we can't reuse it. Alright, I can report that it's not smoky over here. Okay, so that's got another minute until that timer goes off. So while I have the time, a little bit of cabbage here that we just need to trim up a touch. And since I'm just literally making this for Mrs. Weiss and myself, I don't necessarily need a ton, because there's going to be a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay. So that was the timer for the tri-tip. So at this point, it's at temp all the way through. We can pull it out now if we wanted to and finish it off and call it good. Oh dear, he's shooting a par form. But we're just going to go ahead and leave it in there for the time being until we're ready to work with it. So I'm cleaning up a couple of scallions that will then put into this cabbage salad. Then I have a carrot. That we will also peel and add to the mix. I think I'll put this into a single bowl, dress it, and then we'll dish up from that later. I will probably wait to finish off the tri-tip until after Mrs. Weiso gets home. The only reason why really is that, so one of our neighbors is like 1 billion years old. And one of her daughters and her husband periodically come to visit her and bring their little yappy dog. Their little yappy dog tends to provoke ours, and she's not a mega Karen, she's not even a giga Karen, not even a Terra Karen. I would say she's a PETA Karen. For those that are familiar with their Greek or metric, I guess, prefixes for size, from mega to like megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, and to petabyte. So thousands of terabytes kind of thing. Anyways, yeah, they're real pieces of work. So I can't really let the dogs go outside unattended just because, like, they've called the pound. They don't even live here, and they've called, like, animal control, making claims and stuff like that. And then when they came, yeah, there you go, Google Karen. When animal control came out and I talked to them, I was just like, I know who made the complaint. I know exactly what it was. And I'm like, they don't even live here. They live way north kind of thing. And at that point, they're like, yeah, at that point, animal control is completely on my side. And they're like, I don't. So it was all good. But nonetheless, it's just so we can avoid dealing with them. So, say love you. All right. Let's slice up some scallions. And then okay. It's in the bowl. Okay, so we can just give that a fine chop. we go. And that should be, oh yeah, that'll be plenty. Then as for the carrot, okay, that's what we'll do. So all I did was slice that carrot on the bias, meaning at an angle. And then trying to get everything somewhat lined up, nice and orderly. Because now we can go through and alright. That is good to go. Now that I think about it, yeah, like, had some mini peppers that are starting to turn. So I thought, hey, this would be a good way to use them. I mean, you can certainly throw the seeds and kind of the veins in there too, but I'm not a big fan of eating the seeds. Plus, they're not exactly digestible. Alright. Heard a dog. Not sure which one, but I heard one. It's probably Pup. Okay, let's see. 5 minutes 40 on the potatoes. Check those and see what the situation is there. Okay. A little bit of additional color. And a touch of sweetness. So I'm great with that. As for the dressing, scraper looks super handy. Yeah, it's a board scraper. They are incredibly handy, and there's a reason why I have like 8. They're available at Dollar Tree for like $1. So yeah, absolutely. You can pick them up on the cheap. You can pick up multiple. So I use them like all the time. Decay, what's your soy sauce of choice? My family has always been La Choy. Kikkoman is the other big one available in my area, and it just feels like it's bland in comparison. Well, Harkonnen, that is an excellent question. It's also a loaded question. And I know it's nothing on your end. It's just that I have, I think in my fridge right now, like 6 different soy sauces, but they're different and they're all for different things. So when it comes to your Chinese soy sauces are going to be different than your Japanese soy sauces, which are going to be different from your Korean soy sauces, which are going to be different from your Filipino soy sauces. And so it really kind of depends on what it is that I'm wanting and what I'm looking for and what I'm making. So when it comes to just straight up everyday use Korean soy sauces, I go with the Sempio 501. What's it called? And it has a 501. There's also a 701, which is like a kind of a higher quality. But this is my go-to for Korean soy sauce. When it comes to Japanese soy sauces, so like Kikkoman, for instance, would be a Japanese soy sauce. For something like that, it kind of depends. I usually, I don't necessarily grab the Kikkoman that you find in the store. There's because Kikkoman in Japan makes a whole bunch of them, and I usually end up getting them from a Japanese market. But recently, the one I've been using the most, I have an extra bottle. It's this guy, which, let's change that. So this is made by a company called Yamasa, and this is their Maridaizu Shoyu. It's something that they have, but Yamasa makes some really good soy sauces. I think who else, or in terms of like the big brands out of Japan. Yeah, La Choy is definitely a Chinese style. To be honest, like when it comes to Chinese soy sauces, I usually go with what's the brand? Well, there's a couple. Pearl River Bridge. Pearl River Bridge, they make really excellent stuff. Lee Kum Kee, if you can find like their premium stuff, theirs is pretty good. And yet I don't see a bottle. Kun Chao, yes, that it is. This is black vinegar, but this the brand is the same. Kun Chao, or Kun Chun. They make a number of soy sauces which are excellent for just kind of like everyday use. But then again, like I said, I mean, I find myself in the markets that sell these kind of things on a more frequent occasion. So your mileage may vary depending on where you're at. As we have unfortunately had to discover, Kikkoman doesn't taste as salty as La Choy does. Well, okay, that is true. And that's the potato thing. So the thing is soy sauce, yes, it does add a salt element, but it's not necessarily the primary function of soy sauce to add salt. So let's change camera. This is what we're looking at. And those are looking pretty good. But you know what? I am okay with leaving them in there for a while longer. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pop them back in there for a bit longer. We're getting close to the time where we can pop in the Brussels sprouts too, and do that. But we feel like we have to add more curcumin to get the same level of flavor soy sauce as we do with choy. Try this as an experiment, Harkonnen. Are you using the green label curcumin or the black label? Because the black label is going to be the higher sodium content, so it should have a perceived higher saltiness. Add the same amount, and instead of adding more soy sauce, try adding a little bit of salt to bring it up, because I think what will end up happening is that salt will actually accentuate that soy flavor more so and bring it up. So I would higher quality or similar to Le Choy. Okay. I would say something that's a kind of a higher quality or something similar. Like I said, Lee Kum Kee or that Kun Chun. Wow, suddenly all out of focus. That's weird. There we go. Those would be like kind of the two, or Pearl River Bridge. Either any of those brands is going to, I think, serve you just fine. Lee Kum Kee has probably got the biggest saturation throughout the U.S. in terms of its brand. I see Lee Kum Kee branded stuff at my local white people markets, as I call them. So I think there's a pretty good chance of being able to find it, at least if you're here in the U.S. I don't remember where you're at in the world, Harkonnen, so I do apologize. So, but that would be my kind of recommendation, is in terms of like what's super readily available, I would try to get the Lee Kum Kee. Yeah. Okay. We're going to pop those potatoes back in, and then we're also going to pop the Brussels sprouts in, and we're going to set a 20-minute timer and see where we're at. All right. So, let's see. To finish off this salad, we need to make a vinaigrette. I believe what I got was the blue label, which is the all-purpose. Blue, if you're talking about the Kikkoman, yeah, it'll have blue on it, but it's predominantly black. That's just kind of the black label. That's the standard stuff. And I've actually used it when, I've used it in making the brine, for chicken, when I was making huli huli chicken, and it came out fantastic. So, there we go. Okay. Let's make that vinaigrette. Really shouldn't get rid of these if I'm going to bring the potatoes back. Alright. I need a small jar. Yes. Hi, puppy. Oh, that's your tail. Like, is somebody knocking on the door? Nope, it's just Puppy's tail. Alright. Little container here. Because we got it, we'll use some of this scallion oil. To make the vinaigrette for this. Then that. Puppy, I'm sorry I can't let you out because that dumb little dog is here. And her horrible owners, too. Okay. This is just rice vinegar. And I'm not quite at a 1-to-1. When it comes to vinaigrettes, I tend to prefer a higher vinegar percentage to the oil, personally. Alright, a little bit of sugar. Balance that acidity. Some pepper. Now we're going to do double checking for spelling. Okay. Lee Kum Ki Kun Chun Appropriate Bridge. Yep, you got it. You got it, Harkonnen. Secret ingredient. Seasoning packet from a bowl of Shin Ramyun. This is a very, very white people thing to do. But we're going to use the seasoning well, not the entire seasoning packet, because this stuff can pack a bit of a punch. We're going to add a little bit to it to season the vinaigrette. And then we're going to take the noodles and bust them up and add some to the cabbage salad. Now, I've made salad like this before, not on stream at least, but many times in the past. And the kind of noodles that you get, in my opinion, makes a bit of a difference. There's a brand out of, I think it's Thailand if I remember correctly, it's Mama brand, that actually fries their noodles, and so the noodles that come out of the packet are on the brown side. I quite like using those. Okay, let's give that a shake. If that turns out to be too spicy, does it kick you in the shin? A little bit higher. A little bit higher there, Scott. All right. Okay. I feel like do with a little bit more of that. Actually, a bit more of the oil. Because I think the sweetness is just fine. Just need to kind of temper the oil a little bit. I mean, temper the vinegar a little bit. A little bright. And salt. There we go. Much better. Okay. So I'm gonna let that hang out until we're ready to use it. In the meantime, I can get rid of that. Alright, let's put stuff away. Smell the Brussels sprouts. That is done. Sprouts are in. We will deal with the glaze when those are ready to go. Let's pull out the tri-tip. Okay. Got our sheet tray here. Got a couple of layers of paper towels because this is going to be quite wet from the juices that are in there. So all I'm doing is cutting this open to drain it. Okay. We got our tri-tip out. So the one, I guess, drawback of sous vide, if there is one. I mean, there are a couple, I guess, but it's a trade-off more than anything, I should say. Is that after it's come out, I mean, that doesn't look very appetizing. It's all gray, right? Don't shop at S-Mart though. No. We have an H-Mart like a mile away from where I live. I'm pretty sure I can find a lot. Yes, you can, Harkonnen. You absolutely can. Yeah, H-Mart's gonna have, they're gonna have all of that actually, or at least the H-Marts that I'm familiar with, absolutely will. But it's gray. Doesn't look all that appetizing. There's not a whole lot of, yeah, H-Mart's a great place. I will say, so there's an H-Mart in downtown Portland, but every time I've gone there, it's been nothing but regret and shame. They've, like, I'll be looking for specific things and they just won't have it there, smaller one, so, you know, I kind of get it. And what it means is that I have to drive down to the big one, which is down in Tigard. And the people along the way have decided to put up multiple traffic cameras within the stretch of road, like in between, like on the road heading out, because I have cousins that live way down in the middle of wine country there. And there's one main highway that goes through it all. Within the last couple of years, they've set up, last time I counted, 7 traffic cameras along the way. It's pretty infuriating. But that's just me, because traffic cameras are stupid. Especially when it's the middle of the night and a giant flash goes off and it completely throws you off guard. But anyways, so in order to finish this off, we gotta, get some color on it in order to make it taste all sort of yummy and delicious. Yeah, 7 friggin' traffic cameras. So what I do is I'll take this outside, and I've got and we've talked about this, it's a weed burner, but not of the medicinal variety. More of the, we're trying to scorched earth kind of thing. It's my big old flamethrower. But that's what I'll use to finish off the tri-tip. And I hear whining, which tells me I'm pretty sure Mrs. Weso is at the door, or very close to being at the door. We'll give her a minute. But, so I'll take off and go outside to do that, and more than likely she will probably head off to change or something like that, so no big deal. But we're close to being ready. So it's definitely on the shorter side today, but in the interest of making sure that Mrs. Weso gets a good meal before she has to peace out again, is sort of my top priority. I hear the wooing. I hear the door. Babe, is that you? Hey, baby. Hi. Yeah. Hi. I don't think so. Yeah. I was like, would somebody in chat who has business license number be extra for me?
I was told, but I
Oh,
was
did you?
training.
Oh, you were training to do it.
I was training bacon.
Okay.
Oh, we have more than that. There's only 4 left.
I know. Okay. Here it is.
What? Oh, the dumpster fire came.
It literally showed up with like 10-20 seconds on the countdown timer.
Nice.
So, alright. We're back to it.
We're back to
Oh yeah, for those that maybe weren't here earlier and didn't see it, my brother Squire Creamsicle hooked me up with a dumpster fire nightlight, and I must have put it back. I did. Banana for scale.
banana tailpipe.
Not gonna fall for banana tailpipe. Anyways, tried putting 2 different sets of batteries in to no avail. 3. There. Alright. It worked! Hang off. Let me turn off. Check that out. Oh, that is amazing. This makes me all kinds of happy. Thank you, Squire Creamsicle. This is friggin' amazing. Everything is fine. Oh, that's... Check it out.
Looks great.
Okay. That is, isn't it amazing? Yeah, I'm super happy. Thanks, Squire Creamsicle. So it's gonna live up on top of the fridge there. Awesome. Very good, very good. Okay. We need to get finishing some stuff off. Okay. So let's see. How much time on the timer? 2.5 minutes on the clock. Let's check this stuff real quick before I go and take the tri-tip outside. Let's see if it's actually working today. Hey, it is! I think we're going to call those good. Alright, so our potatoes experiment looks like it turned out very, very nicely. I am going to be super curious to tuck into these to see what the final verdict is on them. And since pan is crazy hot, which makes sense. Okay. Alright, so these are blazing hot. We're going to hit them with a couple of tablespoons of maple syrup here. And then we're going to hit them with a couple of tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. Approximately equal amounts. So we've got a sweet and sour thing going on here. Plenty of black pepper. I like that. In the immortal words of every contestant on every, like, bachelor dating show ever. I like that. That's good. Yeah, a little bit of sweet. You get that little acidic hit. Kind of balances out the astringency, aka bitterness, of the Brussels sprouts. Trying to think. It needs. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Just a little bit of soy sauce. Not very much. Who did? Oh! Hey, what's going on? La lenta. ¿Qué pasa? Yeah, the Brussels sprouts turned out really nicely. Beautifully roasted. Woo! That's hot. Okay. That is good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna go take the tri-tip outside now. Yeah, the roasted Brussels sprouts are so good, especially when done right. I tossed them in some of the leftover shallot / scallion oil that I made on Saturday. So they had that. Hit them with some of my seasoning salt. Then roasted them at 450 for about 20-25 minutes. And then afterwards hit them with the maple syrup, balsamic, vinegar, a little bit of soy sauce, and black pepper. All it good. But yeah, super, super tasty. The cabbage salad that we got here, we will toss with the dressing in a little bit. So then that way the crushed Shin Ramyun noodles stay a little crunchy. And then we'll also cut into the tri-tip and dish up the potatoes. So I'm going to go take this outside. And yes, if you would be so kind as to come in and, dance like a monkey.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah. Yeah, check out them potatoes.
They look awesome. You're awesome.
And if you decided to sneak a taste, I wouldn't be mad.
Well, you don't have a choice. You're not here to stop me. Woo! These are hot.
When I go outside,
Brussels sprouts are great. They're a little warm though. I'm kind of a baby. Yeah, I played WoW. So I used to play. And this is my nerd. Star Wars Galaxies. Played hardcore, played it. My guild was incredible. Like I met them in person. I flew to a couple of different places to meet them, and they would come down to where I was. It was amazing. Amazing group of people. We played together for years, really. And then WoW came out, and a lot of our guild jumped ship and played. So about 6 months into WoW, I played. I played for a while, but it wasn't the same. We didn't have the guild. I didn't have the same group of people, and the whole point of playing for me was the group of people. So I played for, I don't know, maybe a year, and then I stopped playing. It's like, it was before the big shakeup, the original big shakeup, way back in the day. But I would love to check it out now just to see what it's like. Woo! Brussels sprouts fantastic. Yeah, the Star Wars Galaxies was awesome. Awesome, awesome. I'm sad they shut it down. Thanks. I'm gonna seriously consider that because I don't know. I think it'd be fun to play. It's been a long time. I don't have a ton of time though, and I think that's one of the great things about Star Wars Galaxies was the guild. Like I said, it was the people, and we all played together at the same time. Whereas now, I mean, I don't know how often I get a chance to play. It'd only be a couple times a week for a couple hours, maybe. And I'd have to start out at level 0. But, no, that's part of the fun of it. I'll definitely let you know. But I do miss gaming, and I do miss gaming with a group of people. Of course, we can, I don't know, DK's not really into that kind of gaming. Oh, good, thanks. That'll be fun.
Honey, I'm home.
Yay! We're talking about playing WoW.
Ah.
Your meat looks amazing.
Why, thank you. So, I intentionally put it on this side because you can actually see the grain structure. And that's going to dictate kind of how we cut this up. And so, like, when I cut up a tri-tip, what I usually end up doing is bisecting it kind of right along the grain. And then when I go to slice pieces, I cut against it. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Okay, so that's good to go.
Does meat have to rest?
Does it have to rest? To be honest, it's debatable. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen people swear that you absolutely have to rest it. If you don't rest it, it's a cardinal sin. All the juices come running out because it needs time to redistribute, blah, blah, blah. Well, if that were in fact the case, then if I left it sitting here for 15 minutes before cutting into it, in theory, if cutting into it, I shouldn't have juices spilling out everywhere. But that's not the case. I can let it sit for a half hour and I go to slice into it and juices are going to come out. That's just...
And then it's cold.
And then it's cold. And then that's no fun. Ain't nobody want that.
Ain't nobody want that.
That's not good eating. That's not what we want. So we're not...
Potatoes, on the other hand, are excellent eating.
Are they? I don't know. I haven't tried them yet. So.
The only difference to the last ones was the herb.
Are they not seasoned?
They're seasoned.
Okay, well see, the last ones really weren't.
I'll probably use a tiny bit of salt.
So, as I explained to Chad, what I did in the making of these was, see, even from just sitting there for a moment or two, juices came out. We're gonna need this.
Okay.
What I did in making them is after I sliced them up, I soaked them in hot, salty water for 15 minutes.
Yes, we talked about this.
Yes. So
I listened last time you info dumped.
Oh, okay. Anyways, that's what I did. So I'll be interested to tuck into them and kind of see what's
They're
what.
excellent. And I love vinegar on the Brussels sprouts? I wasn't listening.
Oh yeah, maple syrup, balsamic vinegar, a little bit of soy sauce.
No, balsamic, nice touch. Yay, no dishes in the sink. Woo!
Or the dishwasher.
What? That's crazy talk.
I know.
Who even are you?
I don't even know anymore.
Neither do I.
Excuse me, Jane. Okay. Salad, be dressed. Okay. Put that off to the side. And let's cut into the tri-tip. Okay. So if you look, you can see the grain running like this, and then it gets longer kind of down here. So what I usually do is aim for about right in there. Look at that. The gray ring is super, super minimal, and it's perfectly medium rare all the way through. And that is why Sous Vide is awesome. It allows you to do stuff like that. let's start on this side. Now that we're kind of started getting to that point, I can turn it so then that way I'm staying perpendicular to the grain. Because when you slice your meat across the grain as opposed to with it, it has a much more perceived as being significantly more tender. But that's already super tender as is. If possible, I'd like to try to make slices in a single motion. If possible. Just because so many times, like when you see people slice meat, and they just start sawing at it like crazy. When you look at the face of it, it's kind of jagged going all the way down. I'm personally not a huge fan of that. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the way that it looks. And so if I can, I try to get it in a single swipe. So then that way, it's even cleaner. Jane's like, where's my tribute? Yeah. No. I think this will be more than sufficient. Yeah, look at that. Super fall apart tender. I'm just cutting down some of the bigger pieces so then that way it's a little easier to eat. Okay. So now that that's all good to go, I'm going to do a couple of things. Pardon me. Well, I'm going to do one thing. If it'll let me. That's a big if. There's an old school jar opener mounted underneath the cabinet there. This is my homemade Worcestershire sauce. I'm just spooning a little bit over it. There we go. So that is ready to go. Brussels sprouts, cabbage salad. No. I made no offer. And Hasselbeck style potatoes. So let's dish up. Okay. Cabbage salad. That is good to go. It would help if I actually grab a plate. Huh? Well, if I want to eat. Okay. Jeez. There is Hasselbeck potato. At least on initial inspection, it is kind of similar to the last ones. But I am going to want to put some butter on there. I use the scallion oil on the potatoes. Oh yeah, totally. The liquid sex. Liquid sex would be great on this. There we go. I do my ghetto spin. Right on. Okay, let's give this potato a taste. I can see how it's a bit similar, but I like the texture on this better. It's almost sweeter. It's really good though. Brussels sprouts for the win. A little sweet, a little acidic. Oh, the Hasselbecks? I used some of the scallion oil. I drizzled it on there, but then I just put a little bit of butter. And then I had butt glitter on there. And after slicing them, I put them in just boiled, heavily salted water for 15 minutes to kind of soak and season before slowly baking them at 300 Fahrenheit for 2 hours. And then had them in the 450 degree oven for probably about 45 minutes to 50 minutes or so to kind of crisp up. Now, the other thought I had was, what if after that 2-hour baking period, I finished them off by putting them into deep frying them in hot oil? I think that would be phenomenal too. I don't like Brussels sprouts, but I would try those. Yeah, you know what, Carrie Gemini? I think this would convert you. Because these are super tasty. No. No male or horseradish. Yeah, Mrs. Waso will do some sour cream. But I tend to be pretty simple when it comes to that. I like, butter on there. That's just kind of my thing. Tri-tip is perfect. So good. Is it? Happy birthday, Vera. See, I do like horseradish, but it also depends on the situation. So, I mean, if you don't dig it, like, I totally understand, Find the camera spot. There we go. Salad is the spot. I'm very glad I made it today. Do you want to come grab a plate and dish up? You don't?
Nope, so happy days, it's next week.
Happy days indeed. I guess Mrs. Wazo doesn't have a meeting.
Woo!
Hooray, hooray.
I should go to bed early. But that's too responsible.
Food is yummy.
I expected nothing less.
I am very happy. Let me get out of your way.
Okay. This is the one I was eating, huh?
Yeah. Just looking to see. Oh! Well, I know who we're raiding.
I say it looked like Nick and Andy or Grant was on.
Grant was on. So, okay. Well, that being the case, I'm going to set this up. We're going to go raid Nick Miller, because he's awesome. And
he's tall.
and he's tall. Wrong keyboard.
Sour cream. Not horseradish.
There he is. Cool. All right, so we're going to go raid Nick Miller. Meanwhile, Mrs. Waso and I are going to eat and relax and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you to the lurkers. Thank you to those that spoke up in chat. Everybody, have yourself a wonderful, morning, evening, afternoon, night. Take care. I love all you guys. We'll be back Thursday. Not entirely certain what I'm making yet. I have a couple of ideas, but we'll see. Take care, and love you guys. Oh, hang on. Let me throw up the raid message. So when we go raid Nick, we can spam him with that. And yeah, let's go raid Mr. Miller. Looks like he's doing a vinyl Looks like he's doing a dumpster dive.
This is one of my favorite salads, you know that.
I do know that. That's why we're doing it.
You thought of me?
I did totally think of you.
You think of me all the time.
I do think of you all the time.
Because you're a good husband.
And it unrated for some reason. Oh well. Alright. Here we go, folks. See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?